Wow, third video in 1 week. It must be an emergency. Hello and welcome back to the crypto review. This is not the weekly crypto review. This is me trying to keep a handle on things. The stock markets have been up and down, which I fully expect. In fact, let's take a look and I'll show you what I mean. First off, as always, if you feel that this information is valuable, like, subscribe, share this video with as many people as you can. So, actually, let's go over here real quick. We're looking at the daily chart, and this is the S&P 500. And yesterday we were up by a small amount. Today we're back down. We're down almost, well, we are down 9.5% on the day. With this is not going to give me the time amount, but this one will. There we go. Dow Jones is down over 2,200 points. And there it is. And we have just over an hour and a half left in today's market session. It's going to be a down day. So you'll notice we've got a down day, an up day, a down day, an up day, a down day. This is normal, relatively normal behavior for a market in distress. What happens is that the market falls, gets into free fall. That's where we're at today. We had a 15-minute pause in trading today because it dropped over 10%, which you can see we're at 10.5% now. And so they paused trading for 15 minutes, and that gave people time to relax and, get rid of the vapors, the usual stuff. That 15-minute pause, they instituted that after the crash in 87, because what caused the crash in 87 was it was the first time we had just, over the last couple of years prior to that, had started doing algorithmic trading, which was basically you put a bunch of parameters into a computer, you run it through, and the computer says, if it does this, here's what you do. If it does that, here's what you do. And what ended up happening was that as the markets dropped, the computers all decided, we got to sell, and that's what caused it to drop 22% in a single day. After that happened, the fix that they put into effect was, hey, if it drops a certain percentage, which is like 10%, I believe, we're going to go ahead and stop trading for 15 minutes so that these computer algorithms have time, because it's all based on time. If the market, if this stock drops this percent in this amount of time, we're going to sell. If it goes up this amount in this amount of time, we may sell, or we may buy, or so it's all based on time versus where the price is. And 87 was the first time that we basically got into an infinite loop of selling because the market dropped. So that's what causes the 15-minute pause or that's why we have the 15-minute pause in trading. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, because it's important to understand what's going on with the stock market, even though we're more concerned about crypto, because they are similar in a lot of ways. No, crypto does not close overnight, it doesn't close on the weekends, and it does not have a 15-minute pause. But by understanding what's going on in these markets, we can better understand what's going on in the crypto market. I want you to look at and notice this downtrend that we've had ever since, this would be, the top would have been here on the 19th of February, so about a month ago. In fact, almost exactly a month ago. And this is the Dow Jones, okay? Now, if we go to Bitcoin, for the past several days, and yes, I know, I always show you the weekly charts because we're looking at long-term trends. I'm showing you a daily chart here because I want you to see what's going on over the last few days, the last week or so. Yes, we had a huge drop on the 12th. It dropped 40%. But ever since then, it's been going sideways. That is a really good sign Because where everybody else, where all the stock markets are dropping, where all of the interest rates are dropping, we're going sideways. In fact, let's go back over here. Even gold is dropping, okay? It's currently at $1488.60 per ounce. And if we go over here, we go up a little bit farther and we look at the silver price. And silver is at $11.96 per ounce. Okay, and this graph shows you how it's dropping. It was at $16.81, almost $17 an ounce on March 11th. So a week ago, 7 days ago, it was $16.81, and now it is just under $12, $11.96. And then we look at the gold-silver ratio, which is important because it is in record territory. The current gold-silver ratio, let me see, where is it? Does it tell me? It doesn't tell me here. I just click on here, is at 126. So it takes 126 ounces of silver to purchase 1 ounce of gold. That's record territory. We've never been there before. The reason this is important is because both gold and silver are dropping in price, just like the stock market is. I want to show you this because I want you to understand they're in free fall. They're all in free fall. And then you look at Bitcoin and it's going sideways. Tell me that we're not decoupled from all of the other markets. Tell me that we're doomed to go to zero. I don't believe it. I don't believe it for a second. Now, President Trump wants to send $500 billion in payments to Americans in not one, but 2 rounds. Okay, so let me pull up my calculator here. And we type in 500. That's million. That's billion. 500 billion. And we divide that by the number of adults. Now, there are roughly 350 million Americans, and 24% of those are under the age of 18. The reason I know this is I've been having arguments with friends of mine on Facebook about this very topic. So we're going to take 250 million, which is roughly 3/4 of the population of America. So we're going to divide that 500 billion by 250 million, and what we end up with is $2,000 each. So when President Trump said, well, actually when Secretary Mnuchin said it's going to be more than the number of people have been talking about, and Trump said we're going to go big. Okay, it looks like he's going to go twice as big, and it looks like it's going to be for a couple of months. So we're looking at $4,000 over the next couple of months that they're going to helicopter in. They're going to do airdrops. Everybody's going to get a check. You get a check, you get a check, you get a check, we all get a check. And remember, this is not tax money that they're giving us. This is money that they are creating out of thin air. Just like all of the other bailouts that they are doing and have always done, they're simply going to print more money. Now, the question becomes, how long can they continue printing money before the entire system collapses? Can they print money longer than the system remains functional? That's really what the question is. So what I'm looking at is, and remember, when we're looking at the price of Bitcoin, we are doing a dollar comparison. We're saying Bitcoin is currently worth $5,266. What happens when those dollars are worth less than what they are currently? Well, then it takes more of those dollars to equal 1 Bitcoin. 1 Bitcoin always equals 1 Bitcoin. It may equal several Ethereum. It may equal hundreds of Litecoin, but it only equals 1 Bitcoin. And at this point, it also equals just over $5,200. When those dollars are valued at a lower amount, it's going to take more of those dollars to buy a single Bitcoin, which means that the price of Bitcoin naturally has to move up. Also, remember, we are 54 days from the halving. At that point, the amount of Bitcoin that is offered to miners for every block drops in half. We already know that currently the break-even point for miners is about $7,500. That means that a Bitcoin has to be worth at least $7,500 in order for miners to break even. When the halving occurs, we're looking at the price of Bitcoin needing to be double that, $15,000 or so, in order for the miners to make a profit. Guaranteed that the price of Bitcoin will go up. It's got to, otherwise the entire system falls apart. So, yes, am I bullish on Bitcoin? Absolutely, because I believe it's a better system than the currency that we currently carry in our pockets, and two, the math just doesn't lie. I've been a programmer for 40 years. I trust the code. I understand you may not have the experience in coding and programming that I do, and you may not have the experience and time that I have in crypto, but I have absolute faith in the fact that my Bitcoin, however much, is going to be worth a whole lot more this time next year, than it is today. Anyway, I just wanted to put out a quick video and remind you to hodl and stay strong. It's the weak hands that have dropped out. It's the ones who were over leveraged and trying to be greedy who got shaken out. If you've got strong hands, if you put a proper amount into Bitcoin so that you are happy with the results but not frightened of the drops, you're doing well and you're going to be rewarded by it. It just takes a little time. Anyway, I will see you Friday.